Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the NASCAR Talladega 2 results for the Cup and the Truck Series. But before we get into that, let's first talk about next week's scheduled race, which is the Charlotte Roval. It's only just a Cup and Xfinity Series which will be there. No trucks, as the trucks will be back with NASCAR circus at Homestead, I'm pretty sure. So Saturday, October 7th, will first be practice for the Xfinity Series and qualifying as well for the Xfinity Series. 10 a.m. for practice, 10:30 a.m. for qualifying. Both of them will be streamed on NBC Sports. Practice and qualifying as well for the Cup Series. Practice will start at noon and qualifying will start at 1 p.m. Both of them will be on USA, streamed on NBC Sports, PRM, and SiriusXM. And then at 3 p.m. will be the Xfinity Series race for the running of the Drive for the Cure 250 presented by BCBS. That'll be on NBC, streamed on Peacock, PRM, and SiriusXM. And then on Sunday, October 8th, will be the Cup Series race, 2 p.m. for the running of the Bank of America Roval 400. That'll be on NBC Sports, streamed on NBC Sports, PRM, and SiriusXM. So let's now have a look at the Truck Series results. And the winner of the very wacky Talladega race for the Truck Series is Brent Moffitt. Then we have Ben Rhodes, Dean Thompson, Chandler Smith, Corey Heim, Daniel Dye, Nick Sanchez, Haley Deegan, Parker Kligman, and Lawrence Allen, who I'm pretty sure gets his first career top 10. Then in 11th place, Carson Hocevar, then Roger Carruth, Brandon Finger, Jack Wood, and Gareth Smithley round out the top 15. Four drivers have to qualify. That being Spencer Boyd in the Young's Motorsports truck, Jennifer Joe Cobb in the number 10 Jennifer Joe Cobb racing truck, Keith McGee in the Rio Brothers racing truck, and Clay Greenfield in the number 95 GK racing truck. So there's quite a lot of stuff we need to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is Zane Smith. Then coming to pit road, he spun out and hit a pit crew member. Obviously, it's a very rare thing to happen about, obviously, pit crews getting hit by cars. But it was pretty scary, obviously. I mean, when it happens, it's a bit scary, a bit horrifying. Luckily, the pit crew in question was okay. I'm pretty sure he actually continued to work as well, which is phenomenal. So, big props to him. Another thing I want to mention before we get into the big one that I think everyone is talking about. First of all, Stuart Friesen and Greg Van Als after the race when both of them crashed out. I think Friesen first crashed out, was a pretty hard hit, and then Van Als crashed out in the big one, which we'll talk about soon. Both of them were transported to the hospital. I know that Friesen's okay, he's all good, but not really I haven't heard anything about Greg Van Als, so I'm not really too sure if he's been cleared or not. Hopefully he is cleared, maybe as soon as the video gets released. But the main thing I want to talk about is Matt Crafton versus Nick Sanchez. So what caused this is the big one that happened. Basically, I think Crafton moved down, in my opinion, on Sanchez. And he just caused the big one. I mean, it was clearly... you could also say it was also a racing incident as well. I mean, they were going 3 wide. Sanchez was left in the middle. Then Crafton felt... I looked like he did move down on him. And then that just caused everyone to rag. And that was also where Van Als had a hard hit on the outside wall. So it was weird. But the main thing is what happened after the race. I think, according to Sanchez, apparently, according to him, someone hit it, tapped him on the shoulder, and he just took a swing at him. And I'm pretty sure that was Crafton who took a swing on Sanchez. Obviously, there's also on Twitter, I'll try to find a Twitter video that basically shows the fight. But this was a very scruffy fight. Not really too sure what NASCAR's going to do, especially to Crafton, considering that he basically put a haymaker on Sanchez. Not really too sure what's going to happen, but I think I'm pretty sure I did say in my video about what was the video, the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. Won't be surprised if Crafton does retire. I mean, he's been in the series since like 2000. I'm pretty sure, so I would not be surprised at all. So. We'll see how that goes, but I'm kind of expecting him to retire very, very, very soon. And considering that I think he's a bit washed, in my opinion, I don't think he should be in Truck Series anymore. Luckily for Johnny Slaughter, at least like he knew when he was going to stop. Kraft, on the other hand, he's just wasting seat time just because he has a minority money. So, but I mean, he's still a very talented driver. It's just these like last couple of years he has really fallen off, and he only just scraped by into the playoffs as well. So we'll see what's in store for him for next year. I don't think he has a contract for next year. Maybe I am wrong. I think he might, but I don't think it's like one of those like legacy contracts that Jeff Gordon signed. So, but either way, it is what it is, I guess. So it was a very, very scrappy Talladega race, especially as well with Jamie Little's horrible call in at the final lap as Brad Moffitt finished the race. Pretty sure she just repeated Brad Moffitt twice. That's really about it. It was horrible. Either way, let's have a look now at the other pictures outside of the top 15. Playoff drivers includes Christian Eckes down at 19th, Ty Majeski down 21st, and Zane Smith, the lowest playoff driver, down 32nd. I'm pretty sure he was caught in a wreck with Kraft and Sanchez, but I might be wrong. And down in last place is Brian Dalzett, who had handling issues, so he had to retire basically 5 laps into the race. And failed to qualify driver Spencer Boyd, who won this race pretty sure in 2018. Or 2019, Jeff and Joe Cobb, Keith McGee, and Clay Greenfield. So let's now have a look at the Cup Series results. And the winner of the Yellowwood 500 is once again Ryan Blaney, who saw that coming. I'm pretty sure this is also his 3rd win as well in the Yellowwood 500. Then we have William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Corey LaJoie, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, Riley Herbst, and Daniel Suarez round out of top 10. And Chandler Smith, Todd Gilliland, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson round out the top 15. Well, let's talk about first Kevin Harvick. Considering that he finished 2nd place on track, he actually got disqualified at the very end of the race because of something about the front windshield. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like the front windshield was pulling down or something, and which obviously decreased the drag. I can't really remember, but I think it was something about the windshield which caused the disqualification for Harvick. But let me just say this: the finish between Blaney and Harvick was 0.012 seconds. It's just been like the previous wins that Blaney has had in this race, where it's been other than 7,000ths of a second, it's now 1,200ths of a second or 12,000ths of a second. So it's just it's not really. I mean, it's definitely something that if, the Yellowwood 500 does come back for next season, my pick will always be Ryan Blaney, considering that he has a pretty good win percentage in that race. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely quite funny that it always appears every single time that Blaney has a very good track record in the Yellowwood 500. The other one I want to talk about is the big one that happened in this race, and the main one was that Keselowski went up in the end, not flip, but just a little bunny hop, we'll say. Comes to the tribal, I'm pretty sure Host Forest got spun out, and it just caused a calamity. I'm pretty sure like Austin Dillon also had a hard hit as well onto the outside wall, kind of like similar to where like Greg Van Alst also hit the outside wall, which is also really hard. But Keselowski got some airtime. Only a bit of airtime, and I don't know what is with these cars and just having just airtime. I mean, like the big one obviously is Ryan Preece in Daytona this year, Harrison Burton in the Daytona 500 last year, Chase Briscoe at Daytona last year as well during the Coke Zero, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Pretty sure it's called, or maybe it's the Coca-Cola 600, whatever. Whatever it is, it's definitely, it's not that good considering that, I mean, it's now more likely that these cars will flip because of how smooth the base is, and easily can catch air and stuff, so it's definitely something that I think NASCAR should maybe look at, but I don't know, maybe they won't have a look at it. I'm not really too sure, but I'm a bit skeptical, I'll be honest about that, because it's a bit, it's not that good, considering that we've had a lot more flips. Well, obviously, not compared to the Gen 6 cars, but still quite a lot of flips, considering that we legit had a flip on the very first race of the next-gen car. So, they probably need to look over that at some point. But let's now have a look at the other finishes outside of the top 15. A lot of playoff drivers outside of the top 15. The first one, Tyler Reddick, 16th place. Mark Jr. in 18th, Chris Buescher 19th, Bob Wallace 23rd, Kyle Busch 25th. I'll get to him later during the standings. And then Brad Keselowski 32nd, and who was originally last place, which was Ross Chastain, because he crashed out early as well. JJ Elley had a fuel pump Hocevar, Gibbs, Austin Dillon, Keselowski, all of them were part of that big one wreck, and Kevin Harvick was disqualified. All in all, actually a really good race, very, very entertaining. Not a lot of crashes, which is always a good thing, but it was a very, very good race either way. Let's now have a look now at the Truck Series standings. Let's now have a look at the standings. So Corey Heim already locked themselves into the Final Four at Phoenix. Carson Rosberg, he's plus 23. He has a pretty decent cushion, so I think he might be alright to qualify to the championship 4. Christian Eckes in third, plus 9, and Nick Sanchez plus 3. Then below the playoff cut line, we have Grant Finger minus 3, Ben Rhodes minus 5, Timon Jetski minus 19, and our reigning champion Zane Smith minus 36 below the cut line. So obviously Zane Smith, he's in a must-win territory. Timon Jetski should probably aim for a win as well. Rhodes and Finger, they can make it in 5 points. That's really all. So Zane Smith must-win situation for him, and obviously down 9th and 10th, Matt Crafton and Matt Benedetto, who was confirmed to be leaving the team after the season, has actually left. I think basically with like 3 races left. I don't know why Rackley Ward decided to do that. It was stupid, but whatever. Chase Purdy, Stuart Friesen, Tanner Gray, Jay Garcia, Taylor Gray, Tyler Akram, Roger Carruth, Daniel Dye, Haley Deegan, and Dean Thompson down in 20th place. It's getting tight, I'll say that. I think the championship 4 is going to be really exciting. I'm going to try and cover it. I mean cover it, I mean I'm going to try and do the starting grid, which I highly doubt I can because of timeline. Well, I should say time zones, that's why. But I think this is going to be a very memorable championship 4, just like last year. This is going to be very, very memorable in my opinion. And definitely Corey Heim is definitely going to be the truck to beat, in my opinion, Phoenix. But I mean, if Carson Hocevar shows up, if Christian Eckes shows up even, and whoever the 4th one is going to be, they all need to show up against Corey Heim. But let's now have a look at the Cup Series standings. So this is what the Cup Series standings looks like after it's been flipped over on its fucking head. William Byron, Ryan Blaney, both of them locked themselves into a round of 8. Denny Hamlin plus 50. He's basically locked in. If not, like he should be locked in. If he gets 5 playoff points on the Charlotte Roval, I think he'll be locked in instantly. Chris Bell plus 22, Chris Buescher plus 19, Martin Truex Jr. plus 17, Kyle Larson plus 15, and then Brad Keselowski plus 2, and then Tyler Reddick minus 2, Bob Waddle minus 9, Ross Chastain minus 10, and Kyle Busch minus 26. Oh boy, Kyle Busch is basically in a must-win situation. Chastain, Wallace, and Reddick, both, I think all 3 of them can probably make it via points. And then probably Bell to Larson. They need to at least have a good finish, either in the playoffs, in the stages, or just via the results as well. Because I'm not really too sure. If someone can correct me, I'm not really too sure if the Sage caution is coming back in Charlotte Roval. I know we came back, I'm pretty sure. When was it? Watkins Glen, I think? I can't remember. I think it was like the last road course, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was Watkins Glen where they came back for that race, which was a really stupid idea. I hope it doesn't come back for the Charlotte Roval. Not only because that, chaos and calamity, but it actually makes the race a lot more smoother. You can keep the stages, but you don't have to keep the cautions. Like, you can just keep the stages and just give out points, but just get rid of the cautions, please. The racing will be much more flowing, and it's probably better if it's flowing than it's just going all over the place and just jittery all over the place. So I hope they don't bring that back, but maybe I might be wrong. And then Logano, Stenhouse, McDowell, Harvick, obviously all of them were knocked out of the playoffs in round of 16. Then Chase Elliott, Suarez, Gibbs, and Baldwin. That's really all. So it's getting pretty tight in the Charlotte Roval, but I guess we'll see if the Sage cautions do come back. If not, it's not going to be a good thing. So just a reminder that the next week's scheduled races are Charlotte, which you cannot see, but soon we'll show, will be the Charlotte Roval for the Cup and the Xfinity Series. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.